Hi guys, Gaurav again, and I've got another tutorial जो मैंने promise किया था. This time it's how to make a sort of Bhangra beat. Not a very long tutorial, short one. लेकिन how to actually get that sound of UK Bhangra that you guys hear. Many of you know that recently Selena Gomez and Skrillex have used some of my sounds and loops in their new track. So let me show you a kind of modern Bhangra beat that works in today's date and how to actually bring that sound together, how to even use EQ and compression to build that fat sound. So I'm going to make a beat quick. So this is a two-in-one tutorial basically, जिसके अंदर मैं quick beat बनानी दिखाऊंगा आपको with a small synth sound and how to actually mix it, how to make that fat punchy sound with a lot of low end and punch and bass. So let's start. सबसे पहला काम तो है to make a drum kit. So what I usually do is in Ableton Live, I'm using the drum rack. आप कुछ भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. If you're using Fruity Loops, you can use whatever comes with that. If you're using Logic, you can use the EXS24 or Ultrabeat. If you're using Pro Tools, then you need an external sampler, maybe like Contact or something like that. So anything जिसके अंदर samples place हो सकते हैं, you can use. In this case, I'm using the drum rack. Okay. The interesting thing is that I have already produced a lot of kicks and snares of my own, which I've EQ'd and already compressed and sort of have made like raw material जिसको मैं use करता हूँ. So I also um, put these up on Bollywood Sounds and other platforms. So this is actually from a kit called Banging Bollywood Drums. So Banging Bollywood Drums is basically something which is a pack I made. It's available on BollywoodSounds.net. So as you can see on the left side, Banging Bollywood Drum Kit. So here I'm going to go and find a specific folder जो मैंने बनाया था for kick snares and stuff. So here's a folder. Let's listen to some of the sounds. So these are made with a combination of various sounds together, and then I like this. I'm going to drag this. A nice crusty kick sound. So I just dragged it onto the sampler part here. Take this sub bass kind of sound also. So I've got two sounds. Maybe a cleaner kick also. Let's take this one. So taking three kick drums. Okay. Then we go to the snare. So first, मैं क्या करता हूँ? I'm going to find the kick and snare combination, which is going to be the whack of the track, or the point where the definition of the track comes out. So I'm taking this. I'm going to go to some snares, find something. Okay, this is cool. I'll expand on this later. Okay, this is okay. So I'm going to use this too. Okay, some latency thing going on, so I'll just go fix that first. Okay. Oh, 512 over. No wonder. Okay, so make sure your latency is less. Sometimes you feel that. Okay. Cool. So this sounds fine. Right. So I've got this, which I've made as one kit. And also go and edit my sample. In this case, the snare is coming a little late. I'm going to make it tighter. Okay, so take the snare also. It's slightly tighter. Cool. So we've got that happening. And I want to create a nice hip hop kind of loop beat, which will go. So the first thing I will do is create that pattern. So मैंने tempo set किया around 85 because that's like a nice UK Bhangra Bollywood thing. Okay, so I'm going to feed in this beat. Cool. So let's do that. Cool. So basically, मैंने इसको program कर दिया. I've got the MIDI here. Now what I want to do is I want to give it a bit of swing. So I don't want it to be a very straight kind of beat. So quantize करूँगा. For quantize, I go to the groove in this case, क्योंकि मैं Ableton यूज़ कर रहा हूँ, तो I'm using the group quantize from this. Otherwise, you can go to Logic, whatever you have, and swing the beat a bit. तो सभी swing patterns हैं. I'm going to use my favorite MPC swing because I just love that, and because I'm a big fan of MPC, as many of you know also. So I'm just going to use maybe a 56 pattern. Let's see how that sounds like, and then see, quantize it 100%. Cool. So I've got this. Now it sounds plain and simple. Of course, we're going to do more stuff to it. लेकिन उससे पहले, I'm also going to go and program like a small hi-hat. तो मैं क्या करूँगा, इसी drum rack को I'm going to duplicate onto another place, and then इसी के अंदर I'm going to add hi-hat samples. So let's see. Like this. Let's go with this one. I'll go with this one. Again. Okay, so I have to be on the other track here. Cool. Key volume मैं थोड़ी सी कम कर दूँगा because you don't want your hats to be like very loud. So cool. So let's program that in also. This is a new pattern I'm doing. Cool. So same thing I will do with this is also give it the same groove जो हमने पहले choose किया था. So we have something left. Okay, what I also want to do is make my drums slightly more fat, although they're already very crusty sounding. I've already EQ'd them. I'm going to make them slightly tighter. I won't use EQ. Actually, I'm going to use some kind of an overdriving plugin again, which comes built in with Ableton. If you're not using Ableton, Logic maybe here. There's something called Bit Crusher जो आप use कर सकते हैं, which is really cool. It's equally good. So this is to give it a more tube kind of effect to make it sound little fatter. So let's see if we can achieve it this way. So I've got even more punch in my sound. So a little more drive to the drums, as we can see. So we've got this going. The second thing that I want to do is program some kind of a loop. Okay, this is very popular, a thud loop, which is the. So let's see, we can match it to this thing. I just take this loop and I drag it. Especially जब मैं drag करूँगा इस type के loop को जो मैंने create किया पहले. So I will try to go for the beats mode, यानी कि slicing mode in Logic or beats mode. Don't go for the like monophonic or polyphonic modes, क्योंकि वो better रहता है on voice material or on pads. क्योंकि beats में transients होते हैं, तो it's better to stick to that, and that kind of creates a great result. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, well, it's too loud. So there you go. I've got a crusty beat. I've jank distorted my kick and snare because I want it to be a little crusty so that other clean elements can exist. Anyway, so this is one part of it. How about adding a whole sound? So again, I seek my own library here and Okay, let's try this one. So in this case, I'm going to drag this pattern onto a new track and see how this is going to fit in. Again, I go to this and since a beats mode here, I try to do at least 16 beats. Let's see what sounds good. Again, मैं इसको भी swing कर सकता हूँ, so I can actually take this and match it to the kind of swing and groove जो मेरी beat में. So I can come here and select the same quantization for this that I did there, and let's see what this sounds like now. Nah, it's not sounding so good, so I guess I'm gonna do none and then see. Sounds good. So now the hats have got their own place, which is in the highs. The kick and snare are cutting through, and then you've got the toe loop and the third loop, which is the essence of a Bhangra track, essentially. Now, just for effect, I'm going to add a small synth line add करने की कोशिश करता हूँ from silence or something, which might sound interesting. Let's see if you've got something which makes any sense. So again, I open silence. Maybe try to find one of the sounds, which are good. Again, I have to reduce the volume, and everything will be very loud. So okay, whatever. Let's find something else. Let's try this kind of a bass line. Sorry. Cool, so I got some kind of a bass line working here. Again, मैं इसको भी quantize करूँगा to work with what we're doing. So it starts from the second part. Let's see. Okay, now in this case, my tones are nice and clean, but they're still not being heard so much because synth और दूसरी चीज़ें इसकी mids की जगह खा रही है. So one thing I must do is try to probably get my tool sound out a bit. So in this case, again, I can use the help, a bit of help of compression to make it a little smoother. And then what I will try to do is again try to crunch this up. Okay, let's see how we can do that. First thing I will do is compressor. So I'm just using the normal compressor. Again, I'm trying to use iske apne plugins. Of course, there are third-party plugins to use if you can. So my compressor on which I'm going to reduce the dynamic range of this tool. So let's see how that works out. See, already you can hear that the tone is fitting in better, but still we need to bring some more, crunch to it. So I'll try to emphasize more on the higher frequencies of tone in this case. Maybe I think that could work. So again, same thing. I could probably try to use the overdrive plugin, but very carefully use this plugin not to overdo anything, so that it stays in a listenable range. So let's see. Cool. So as you can see, ढोल और better हो गया. I can show you without these two plugins कैसा sound कर रहा है. So it's really crushed when you hear it solo. I know it appears funny, but in the context of the whole mix, it works. So वो बहुत important होता है because every piece is basically like a piece of a puzzle. So how it works with the track is more important than probably how it works solo. तो अगर आप किसी चीज़ पे solo करके उसको मेहनत करके बना रहे हैं, it just might not work because when you switch on the rest of the track, it might not go with the track. इसलिए important है to make sure that things get sculpted around it. So let's see what happens. It's sounding clear and fat and nice. Maybe increase my kick and snare a bit in volume. So it's like a simple tutorial again. लेकिन I'm not done yet. ठीक है, I'm going to go to the master bus and master bus पे हम क्या magic कर सकते हैं. So in this case, I am going to show you a third party plugin. शायद काफ़ी आप लोगों के पास होगा भी, or maybe you know should get it if you can. It's a plugin I got from Ozone. I mean from Isotope called Ozone. I knew it. आप सबको पता है इसके बारे में. Okay, that's good. This is really good because in the final mastering, if अगर आप सिर्फ digital में काम कर रहे हो और आपके पास एनालॉग नहीं है या थर्ड पार्टी यूएडी टाइप प्लगइन्स नहीं है विच आर ऑफ कोर्स वे अमेजिंग साउंडिंग, तो आप इससे भी काम कर सकते हैं एंड इट एक्चुअली यील्ड्स अ रिजल्ट वेरी क्लोज और वेरी गुड. काफ़ी केसेस में समटाइम्स आई प्रेफर टू गो विद दिस दैन अदर थिंग्स. तो डिपेंड करता है हाउ योर मटीरियल इज इनिशियली साउंडिंग. तो आई एम गोइंग टू यूज दिस अगेन. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू यूज अ प्रीसेट बिकॉज आई काइंड ऑफ डोंट लाइक टू यूज अ प्रीसेट. आई एम नॉट saying that you shouldn't, maybe you should, but I'm not going to use one. Okay, so सबसे पहले मैं काम क्या करूँगा, मैं क्लीन अप करूँगा. सो क्लीन अप में क्या करता हूँ, आई ओपन द इक्वलाइजर के बैंड्स में जाके आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ हाई पास और अ लो कट फिल्टर. सो हाई पास फिल्टर बेसिकली क्या करता है, टेक्स अ फ्रीक्वेंसी और उसके ऊपर या उसके हायर जो भी फ्रीक्वेंसी उसको पास करता है उसके नीचे जो फ्रीक्वेंसी उसको कट कर देता है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू यूज अ फ्लैट वन एंड देन ब्रिंग इट अराउंड 38 39 40 हर्ट्ज तक. इसके नीचे का मटेरियल लो एनर्जी क्लीन हो जाता है, होल ट्रैक कोई मड नहीं है उसके अंदर, नथिंग सिली गोइंग ऑन देयर. ठीक है, सो कभी कभी ऑडिबल नहीं होता बट इट्स डेफिनेटली क्लीनिंग द एनर्जी. सेकंड थिंग आई एम गोइंग टू डू इज आई एम गोइंग टू गो टू द हार्मोनिक एक्साइटर जिसके अंदर बेसिकली दिस एड्स हार्मोनिक्स यानी कि इट एड्स दैट ट्यूब क्रंच पंच टू एनी ऑफ द बैंड्स. तो इसके अंदर 4 बैंड्स है, 1 2 3 4. ये प्लगइन मैं आपको डिटेल में बाद में दिखाऊंगा. फिलहाल आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग द हाईएस्ट बैंड व्हिच इज हियर. आई एम गोइंग टू ऐड लिटिल मोर highs or brightness to it. So let's see how that could sound. So as you can see, that's immediately added more clarity to the top end. So 10 kilohertz के ऊपर मैंने boost किया. I'm not boosting in the mids or high mids because that might really hit your ears. Okay, so मैं ये कर रहा हूँ and I'm going to try to go to the low band also. तो जो उसका low band around 120, I'm going to try to boost it there. In this case आपको careful होना पड़ेगा sir that it doesn't become too boomy in your speakers and stuff. So you'll have to test that. Again मैं headphones में कर रहा हूँ, so I'm making a so-called headphone mix. लेकिन ये सारी tricks जो हैं या इनके levels जो हैं can be adapted to your speakers. So अगर आपके पास अच्छा environment है, I'm invincible in my studio, I know. Let's see how good I can do in the headphone. So in any case, वो measure आपको करना पड़ेगा. So your room is very important. Anyway, I'm going to boost a bit of bass. Let's see. So as you can see, the mix has got a little more punch in it. Third thing I'm going to do is stereo imaging. Stereo imaging basically क्या करता है, it takes all your elements and kind of phase spreads it in left and right speaker. So mix जो थोड़ा और wide हो जाता है. So little more pleasing to listen to. थोड़ी और clarity आ जाती है because elements get little separated. Masking थोड़ी कम हो जाती है. So again in this case मैं third band यानी कि high mid band boost कर रहा हूँ, high band boost कर रहा हूँ. Little bit of maybe the low mid band, but I'll never boost the low band because क्या होता है कि जो low frequencies होती हैं वो non-directional होती है. So if they phase out or there's some problem with it, it might just start booming in the speakers and also I'm not going to touch that. उसको मैं छोड़ दूंगा, I will not touch with it. I'm just gonna work a little of this. Let's see how it sounds like now. So here goes nothing. So again, let's bypass this plugin and see कि पहले कैसे sound कर रहा था. So you can't deny, definitely ozone has made a lot of difference and made it very punchy and clear. So it's a simple, very simple, easy method. Of course, mixing can become as complex and as hard in your production process also, as much as you want. The simple method, but again, I also need volume. So in this case, I'm going to use the waves L3 because ozone ka somehow the limiter, I don't find it giving us as much levels as it is compressing. So I never had the kind of result I wanted. Some people are able to do it, I don't know, but for me, the standard thing is L3 if I'm actually trying to get more volume. ताकि आपका mix loud बजे. And for many people, loud is better. So I don't know if I agree or disagree. It could be true also. So I'm going to use this limiter on top of this ozone plugin and then pull this threshold. I can make it louder. Let's see. Well, this sounds good, but what से क्या हो गया कि it's also emphasize my highs a bit more. तो मैं क्या करूँगा अपनी highs को थोड़ा सा बैलेंस करूँगा. I'm going to go back to the harmonic exciter and pull back this because जो L2 है basically जब वो apply कर रहे हैं, so it's also changing the whole frequency balance. So I have to go back and forth between the other plugins. Maybe channels में मुझे वापस जाना पड़ेगा. But in this case, maybe let's try this and see how it sounds. Yeah, so to me it sounds better. The other trick you can do is go back to the equalizer and take about पूरे मिक्सी पर about around 1000 which is 1 kilohertz और बड़े से क्यूब पे यानी कि बहुत बड़े बैंडविड्थ पे आप इसको यानी कि यहाँ पे about 0.30 or whatever इसको पुल करें. नैरो क्यू ना करें यानी कि इस तरह का क्यू ना करें because नैरो बैंडविड्थ से थोड़ी रेजोनेंट फ्रीक्वेंसीज आती हैं which sound unnatural. So try to use as wide a Q as you can like we see here and let's see how this sounds. So this is cool. Another trick is if you still want to work with your whole sound, you can actually additionally thin it down also. So thinning is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's the kind of sound you're looking for. So in this case, I can do the same thing. I can use an equalizer. Again, मैं waves का थोड़ा अच्छा वाला EQ use करके आपको दिखाता हूँ. I'm going to use another plugin called Lin Lin EQ यानी कि linear EQ. Linear क्या करता है? It doesn't add any kind of phase distortion or tries to induce minimum amount of phase distortion in your sound. So it doesn't change color so much and it can remove or add certain frequencies which you want to address. So मैं Lin EQ में जाता हूँ. I'll go to the broadband stereo version of this again. Take 1K. Again, I'm applying this to the whole sound, just the whole sound. Okay, so I'm cutting 1K around here. Let's see what happens. So to me, the roll is fitting in better. Although some people might feel that mids होने चाहिए, but that's a taste thing also. You can have more mids if you want. I think this is cooler and fatter. And it's जितना मैं mids काटूंगा उतना obviously bass emphasize होगा एक track का और clarity भी emphasize होगी एक track की. So to me, this sounds good. Again, मैं master bus में जाऊंगा. I'm going to make a few more changes, a few more settings. Go back to ozone. Open that up. Oops. Okay, there it goes. So come to this part and again in the equalizer maybe try to pull more on 1K down. Let's see. very good. I think it sounds wide and fat for minimum amount of work. So this is how you get a quick Bhangra beat going. Again, like I said, if you're really wanting to make Bhangra and UK style Bhangra, so you can definitely check out our packs at Bollywood Sounds because my कोशिश रही है to put all of those elements together for you. So you've seen how quickly I just use my own sounds, even the kick and snare and everything, and put it together just from the packs that I made, and used some of the internal plugins except for Ozone. So Ozone or Lin EQ जो मैंने use किया वो third party था. I hope that is helpful, and I hope you can build entire tracks. This is a very short tutorial, and I hope that happens for you. So again, like I said, thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful. I'm going to come up with some more interesting stuff for you. So keep watching, stay tuned. Ciao from Gaurav.